All right, welcome back to the Better Everyday podcast. I'm your host, Brad Weems, owner of Thunder Valley Fitness here in Johnson City, Tennessee. Although the Better Everyday podcast typically is a lot of storytelling and guest interviews of individuals connected with Thunder Valley, it is also a podcast speaking with highly motivated individuals who we see getting better every single day. So today's guest is Cody Hubbard. He is the owner of Breaker Barber Company. He is one of the youngest entrepreneurs here in Johnson City, Tennessee. He is the husband to Rose, dad to Dixie the dog, and soon to be dad of a little one whose due date is in February of 2021. Cody, what is up?
What's up, Brad? So good to be here, man.
Yeah, man, good to have you this morning. The one thing that probably his biggest accomplishment that I forgot to mention is he is the guy in charge of this hair.
Yes, sir.
I don't have a lot of splurges. Don't spend a lot of money. Don't pamper myself a lot. But you can ask Leighton here in studio. He knows this. Every 17 days, I'm going to see my boy right here.
Yes, sir.
So, what's going on, man?
Just living it up, man. I'm ready for fall. It seems like we're getting a good taste of it right now, which is fun. So,
yeah, a little bit of chill in the air.
Yeah.
Just makes you think of football and bonfires and
go Vols, right?
Exactly. I got a little game against Missouri this week.
Yes, sir.
So, man, tell us about you.
Yeah, a little bit about me. Like you said, my name is Cody Hubbard. I am originally from Bristol. Grew up in Bristol. I am married to my wonderful wife, Rose. Definitely outkicked my coverage on that one. So she's up here and I'm kind of down here. So I had to lock that one in before she realized it one day, right?
I can relate, brother.
Yes, sir. We all can. Yeah, we've got a baby on the way due in February. We find out in about a week and a half if it's a boy or a girl. So
awesome.
Other than that, I'm just living life right now, staying super busy, cranking it out.
Awesome, man. So, like I mentioned, he is the owner of Breaker Barber Company. When did you guys open, Cody?
We opened on May 6th. It got pushed back a little bit due to COVID, but it was still a great start date. So we've been open, 5 or 6 months now, and it seems like the time's just flying by. Like, we keep talking back and forth, Preston and myself, and it's like, wait, dude, we've been open a long time.
I remember talking to you in shop before COVID hit, and what was your projected original date had we not had a setback?
Yeah, April 1st was going to be our opening date for sure.
Got you. So just a month setback.
Yeah, not bad. It could have been a lot worse, that's for sure.
Yeah, and you guys were one of the industries that was probably the most impacted. I know, what was it, end of April? They said you guys, I know you were planning on the first week of May, and then what did Billy say, it was going to be closed down for another month?
Yeah, it was going to be the start of June, and then everyone kind of went a little wild on that. They were like, no, we can't let our hair grow that much. So they pushed it up a little bit, which was such a blessing. A lot of precautions to take going into that, which was totally fine. I think that as long as we're open, that was our biggest thing.
I'm one that can contest getting my hair fixed is essential.
Yes, sir. Yes,
I
sir.
will gladly wear a mask to be looking good.
Yeah.
So, let's talk about Barber School, what that looked like. I know, am I correct that you went to Craig's Crown Cuts Academy?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
He actually has a podcast here at Market Street Media with Leighton.
Yeah, super fun.
So tell us about Barber School, what that looks like, how many hours are involved, and so on.
Barber School. So a little bit of backstory about how I met Craig. I was in college doing that thing, and I realized that wasn't what I wanted to go down to. That wasn't what I wanted to be a part of. I wasn't good at school. So almost 3 years into college, and I kind of called it quits. Just because one of my mentors at the time said, hey, what do you really enjoy doing? And at that time, I was cutting all my friends' hair, in our living room, which was super fun. And the only thing I could think of when he asked that question was, I like cutting hair. That's about it. And he was like, I think there's a barber school about to open. And I immediately got in contact with Craig Charles, who is an awesome individual, and set up a time to meet with him. And the rest is history from there. I kind of kicked his butt into getting it going because it was kind of straggling a little bit. I was like, dude, we got to get this going. I'm ready to get in there and go full speed. But Barber School, got in there, was actually the first student to be a part of that school, which was incredible. Um, and 1,500 hours, you got to go through chemistry, anatomy, all these different things that you would never think that you would go through in barber school or cosmetology school. You learn all of these things, and yeah, it was a wild ride. So you got to mess up a lot, you got to ask a lot of questions, and you just got to learn from it all, which was great. Repetition was huge.
So were there mistakes where you'd be working on someone's hair and like gash it or maybe like mess it up, and they can't really complain because it's a free
Right.
haircut.
Yeah. You just point at the sign that says all services are performed by students and shrug it off.
You good?
But no, I mean, I actually never had like a big oops. I mean, I think that Craig would look at me a couple of times and be like, "Hey, his thing is, you didn't do a great haircut if he says, "Hey, did you take a picture of that?" And there was a couple of times he was like, "Hey, did you take a picture of that?" And I was just like, that means I messed something up. So there's a couple of those moments, which was, you learn from them, which I was super thankful for. But no, like, accidentally shaving someone's part up too far or something like that.
Well, that's awesome. You would never think that it would be so many hours. Let's just look at it like this. Let's say the average person goes to 4 hours of class in a day. That's 375 days of school.
Yep.
So, wow, that's awesome. So tell us about your first job once you graduated.
Yeah, so stepping into barber school, I actually got a front desk position at the Fouled Anchor, who Patrick Muncie owned that at the time. It was partnered up with C.S. McCullough's with Randy Almanzor. And going into barber school, I knew that if I got the chance to be in a really cool barbershop, I should take that opportunity. So I worked front desk there for a few years, actually, through barber school, and got to kind of see the in and out of everything. And I was fortunate enough that Randy offered me a position at C.S. McCullough's right out of school, which was awesome. So my experience there was incredible. I got to know a ton of people. I got to learn a lot about the trade and build up a super solid clientele and just friendships throughout the whole time. So it was awesome. I loved it.
It seems like that was meant to be for you to be working at the Fouled Anchor and then just easily transition.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, it was such a blessing.
One of those things that, like, things happen for a reason, and no doubt that sounds like that was the case.
Right.
So you're working at C.S. McCullough's. How long were you there?
I cut hair there a little, like right at 2 years, but I worked in that space for about 3.5 years.
Okay. So, your story's a lot like mine, Cody. I've owned my own gym for 8 years now. And so that would put me at the age of 27 starting my own business.
Cool.
So, and before that, I'd moved up here to Johnson City. I was working at Lifestyles. I think it takes a unique individual to put in the time working for someone else, but then it also takes certain attributes and mindset to like go from working for somebody to start your own business. So, kind of give me some insight on why you wanted to have your own place versus working for someone else.
Yeah, I think that that was kind of the goal. Like going into barber school, I knew that I had my own vision for when I got out of school, but more importantly, like what it looked like to have my own space to work in and just be my own boss. So I kind of got to the point where I had a good amount of friendships built up. I hate saying clients. Like I'm really trying to get out of the term clients because I feel like I just go to work every day and get to hang out with my friends all day. So I'm going to call them friendships. I built up a huge amount of friendships and just got to the point where I was like, okay, like I really think that this is something that I want to do. And then there was actually a few months later that I had an encounter with the Lord that just really set me on a new path that was like, hey, this is exactly what you got to do. And that night I got home and I called Preston. I was like, hey, dude, I'm going to do my own shop. Like, do you want to be a part of this? And the rest was kind of history. I think that doing my own thing has been huge for myself. I've learned a lot about myself and kind of the extent that I can push myself, which is, I'm just learning new things every single day, which is awesome.
Do you mind to elaborate into that experience or that moment you had?
Yeah. So, in that moment, it was back in December actually of last year, and I can just remember like feeling the presence of the Lord, and all I could hear was the term "go for it" like over and over again, and I kept trying to shrug it off and say like, oh, that can't be that can't be the Holy Spirit. There's no way. Like I've never felt a feeling like that before, and in that moment, my pastor, who's an incredible person, comes up and grabs me and says, I don't know why I need to tell you this, but I feel the Lord saying, go for it. And I was like, what? Like, that's actually insane. And I can actually like tear up every time I think about it just because it's such a cool experience. And I was like, okay, that's how I know. Like, I got reassurance from someone in authority above me that reassured me that is from the Lord. So I texted Preston when I left the church that night, and I said, hey man, I need to call you. And he texted me back, go for it.
No.
And I freaked out. Like I was like losing it. I was like, Rose, what is going on? Like this has got to happen. And so in that moment I was like, okay, it's happening. So I told Preston kind of the experience that I had, and told him how I felt about it, and he was like, dude, I'm in, let's do it. So the rest is history. We started looking for spaces, and the space that we're in right now came available, and it had purple walls and like a really ugly carpet and like one little lamp light in the middle of the room.
So what kind of business was in there before?
It was a massage therapist,
Okay.
which probably fit the vibe like super well, like super low lights and everything. But for us, we need all the light possible. And we really just wanted it to be a bright space, a pretty minimal space because it's not a huge studio. It's about 450 square foot. So I was like, Preston, we can do this. And he was like, dude, there's no way. Like, it's so bad in here. And took a little convincing, but it turned out exactly how we want it right now. So it's perfect.
That's awesome, dude. So you sign your lease on this spot, and we get things going. And I know what this journey can kind of look like. But let's talk about some of the exciting parts initially.
Yeah.
Now, you had all these signs from the Lord that you needed to do this, and then COVID hits. And are you questioning your decision now?
No, not at all.
Okay.
Honestly, I was at complete peace with the whole thing. Like I was a little frustrated just because I was so like ready to do it, like ready to be in there. But I mean, on April 1st, the space was ready to go. And it was kind of refreshing. I had about like 5 weeks of just kind of like time to myself. And yeah, it was good. It was almost like a new start. So going into that in May, I was so ready. I was amped up. I had called all my people, and they were super excited. Whenever we first opened up, we were booked out solid for about 3 weeks, which is about 60-ish or so clients per week, which was just like crazy to see. Friends. Yes. Thank you for that. I need that. I really do. So well over 100 and something people that were like ready to go, like before we even opened. So that was wild.
We opened Thunder Valley and kind of the same thing. So we left Lifestyles, and I think we brought with us 30 people.
Well,
but then also we brought about 5 to 8 personal training clients as well, who up front signed new contracts with us the day we opened, which gave us a cushion to develop our CrossFit brand. So
that's awesome.
I understand where you're coming from, and that just helps with, it takes a little bit of stress off of opening a new business and the uncertainty that sometimes can take place with starting something new.
Yes, sir.
So what are some of the struggles outside of the obvious of COVID that you've seen or experienced in these first, are you in 5 to 6 months? Were we at 6 months?
Yeah, somewhere.
So with October 1st, 6
yeah,
months?
yes, yeah. So on the 6th of October, it'll be 6 months.
Okay.
So the struggles up till this point, I mean, honestly, outside of just like the little things like taking towels home and washing them, like that doesn't sound like a big deal, but like it gets annoying. Like it sucks. But the biggest struggle at this point is like having to turn down people that want to try to get in there.
Yeah.
And that's like one of the worst things. Like we hate it. Like if someone walks in and is trying to get a haircut, and we say, hey, we're booked out till next Wednesday. Like, you want to go ahead and set up an appointment? They're usually looking for a haircut that day,
Mm-hmm.
and that's just a bummer. Like I wish that we could get to know more people, but we're just kind of at a point right now where I don't want to say capped out on the amount of people that we can take in, but
You're capped out.
we're just staying.
You can't be my friend until next week.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Which sucks. And so like right now we're actually meeting with someone today to look at a new space, a bigger space that could be available by next summer. That's kind of our goal, is to be in a bigger space, a couple more chairs by next summer, and that way we can start feeding in a couple more people through the door, sit them into a barber's chair that we've kind of mentored over the past couple months. So
That's awesome. Not even 6 months in and already looking at a new spot.
yeah, I mean,
Killing it, dude.
we want to bring in more people. Like we want to really get involved with that community aspect. We would love for it to be a space where you can come in and bring your laptop and just sit for 3 hours and do whatever you need to do.
Almost like your co-op spaces.
100%. Yep, that's exactly what we want. Come in, get a coffee, whatever.
And then find that balance where you and Preston are booked still, but you are able to take in walk-ins with your new people that you bring in, but then they're also making a living as well.
They are. Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah,
it's awesome, man. The sky's the limit for you guys, it sounds like. So, this kind of, one of the questions I had for you, what are you looking at doing in the upcoming years to advance the business? But kind of like you said, you're looking at new spots, looking at bringing on new people.
Yeah.
What else besides the co-op space? Is that kind of your vision?
That's kind of the vision. Yeah, we really want to be in a space where we can just invite people in all the time. Like we just want constant community, and that's something that we're really looking forward to. Actually, in November, on November 20th, Preston and myself, we're doing a 24-hour haircut. So we're going to cut 24 clients for 24 hours. Charlotte's Florals is hosting the space. So, and we're going to raise as much money as possible and donate it to someone. We're not exactly sure who yet. We're still praying about that. But
so you both are going to clip hair for 24
yeah.
hours. Okay, so what hour 19 and on, is that when it's kind of sketchy to come get the haircut?
I'm not really sure. It depends on how much coffee we got. So we're hoping to get some coffee out there. We're going to have a ton of sponsors. So with each haircut, we're going to give a free haircut in exchange for a donation. So all the haircuts are free. We're hoping to take everybody down to just a mustache at the end of it, just for like some Movember fun. So yeah, that's kind of what we're shooting for.
Leighton, it sounds like he's calling your name. I can see you rocking a mustache.
Yes. So t-shirt, you're going to get a hair product. We're reaching out to a couple other people who are going to do something and kind of have like I don't want to call it a swag bag. I feel like the swag bag's kind of like whatever. But it's going to be like, you're going to go home with a lot of stuff, and we hope that you would
donate appropriately.
Yes, sir.
And what's the date for this?
November 20th.
Okay, November 20th. So everybody will be rocking a mustache at Thanksgiving this year.
Yeah, let's hope so.
Love it. All right, let's talk about some advice you would give to a fellow young person who is looking at opening their own business. And that can be any trade.
Cool, any trade, not just a barber. Sweet. I would say this is something that Craig has kind of instilled in me from the very beginning, and that is don't do it for the money. Like, money will come, and I think that's been the biggest thing for myself is like, no, I'm not doing it for the money. Like, money will come down the road. Who knows? Like, that's kind of the last thing on the list. Like, I think that finding joy, finding passion, and just being excited every day, like waking up and not dreading going to work. I couldn't imagine like waking up and not wanting to go hang out with people all day. Like, that would be the absolute worst thing. So I would say, like, know what you want to do and make a difference in people's lives. So other than that, I think you're doing exactly what you should do. As long as you feel those things, do whatever you need to do.
I think, would you say it was a college advisor that said, what do you like doing? Is that right?
So it was one of my mentors. Yeah.
Mentors. Okay. Yeah, like what you just said totally falls in line with what they said, and the fact that if you can find something you enjoy doing, people will see that energy and passion that you have for it. And like yourself, I feel like the business will take care of itself.
100%.
So I'm right there with you, man. All right, let's get into some questions, lightning round of questions.
Let's do
There's
it.
one or two of these that are a little bit longer, but we're going to keep it, pretty quick for the most part.
Cool.
Mullets are making a comeback. What's your favorite style?
Dude, I love just a good, like, trash hawk mullet. Like, I think that's the coolest thing ever. Short, textured up top, and...
Kind of the Joe Dirt?
Yeah, dude, I'm into that.
Okay. All right, one hairstyle has to go forever. The rat tail or the bowl cut?
Bowl cut.
Yep. What is the craziest... This is the one I want you to elaborate a little bit on. What's the craziest haircut experience without disclosing any names?
Oh, gosh.
Something that just really threw you out of sync. You seem like a real laid-back person, so something that got you flustered, worked up.
Yeah, there was one time where I ended up probably doing 4 or 5 different haircuts on this individual. And every time I cut it, he would pull up a different picture and be like, "Can we actually do something like this?" And then I'll be like, "Oh, but we just did the other one. Like, do you not like that one anymore?" I just think this might look a little bit better on me.
So this person literally
Multiple
came in
times.
with a ton of hair, obviously.
A good amount of hair, yep.
To do 4 to 5 different
For sure.
styles.
Yeah, we kind of started out with like a little bit of like that longer, a little bit of medium length kind of flow, kind of cut it down a little bit shorter, comb over. We ended up pretty much with like your haircut.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and he was like, "Yeah, looks great." And I was like, "Dude, what?" Like, we could have started with that and it would have been great.
How long did this take?
I ran way into my next haircut for sure. This is when I first started cutting hair. And
Oh, wow. You got thrown into the fire right out of the gate.
yeah, and this was one of my, like, I can vividly remember, like, one of my first, maybe in my first month, maybe that second month, like, and just threw me through a loop. I wanted to tell the front desk person at the time to be like, "Hey, I need you to charge him for 5 haircuts." So,
I mean, you would have had a point.
yeah, so.
What is the toughest hairstyle or haircut to pull off?
Ooh, to pull off.
No, well, for you to perform, I guess. If I came in to the shop, like, what's the one I could say, all right, this is what I want my hair to look like, and you'd be like, man, this is hard. Or are you so good that you got everything?
I don't want to say that. I think that everyone's hair can kind of do something a little bit different. But, oh no, I don't know. Honestly, I think that there's a new trend kind of coming through that it's a crop haircut. So it's coming from Europe. So it's like super like jagged, like fringe bangs in the front, like it almost looks like a bowl cut. Like if you were standing a little too far away, like there's a harsh line kind of going around the head. I think they look really cool on certain people. Like you got to have a certain like dress, and I don't think you could pull it off though.
No.
Dang. One day.
Not even in my skinny pants?
No, maybe in some skinny pants.
You ever had a person come in and they want a hairstyle, but their face or like shape of their head don't fit it?
Oh, all the time.
What do you do?
All the time. I educate them. Educate your friends. Just the other day, I had a friend come in, and it was actually the first time I've ever cut his hair, and I've known him for quite a few years. And he parts his hair to the right. I started kind of combing through it, and a consultation is the most important thing. Educating them, knowing why their hair lays a certain way. I told him, I said, "Hey man, this is gonna rock your world. You need to part your hair to the other side." And he was like, "What?" I was like, "Yeah, you've got a really strong crown back here, and it's pushing all your hair this way." And I said, "Let me ask you a question. When you get your hair cut, does it just stick up in the back like a rooster tail?" And he was like, "Dude, all the time. Like, I'm just kind of used to it." And I was like, "Yeah,
Like, watch this.
You're parting it to the wrong side." And I parted it to the right way. And he had a mole in the back of his head that he really didn't want people to see. And everything laid perfect with no product. And it was all in just one little switch. And that was like the coolest thing. Like he left, and 10 minutes later, I got a notification that he booked another appointment, which was like the biggest tip in the world. Like,
Yep.
I loved that. So,
You said this guy was a friend.
yeah.
Is it harder to have that conversation with a friend, or are you more comfortable?
I try to treat everyone the exact same, like when I'm doing a consultation. Like, I never want to hurt people's feelings, but I want to educate them on their hair. I think that that's one of the biggest misconceptions in this industry is barbers and hairstylists don't educate their friends in their chair on how to style their hair, how to get their hair cut, or X, Y, and Z. So, no, I try to look past that and just shoot them straight. I would want the same done for me. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So,
All right, transition away from haircuts. What are your 2 favorite restaurants in Johnson City?
oh gosh, the food truck count.
Sure.
The Noli truck is one of my favorite things. It's not in Johnson City, but I love Noli truck. It's so good. And then Rose and I go to the Label a ton.
Yeah.
So, but if a food truck wasn't one, it would be the Label in Mid City, 10 out of 10 times.
We've known each other through fitness as well. Outside of me coming to you as a friend to get my hair cut. When it comes to fitness, are you more of a weights, cardio, or body weight type guy?
Oh man,
You can only pick one.
weights.
Weights.
Yeah, I like
What's
a
your,
bar. I like
what's
a
your
barbell.
favorite lift?
The snatch.
Nice. Pancakes or waffles?
Waffles, 10 out of 10 times. You
And
get your head shaved if you pick pancakes and come into the barbershop.
did Carol Baskin kill her husband?
I don't think she did.
No.
No, I don't think she did.
All right. And to finish out, and we kind of touched base with this a while ago when I was talking about giving advice to a young person that's looking to open their own business. But what are 3 attributes that you contribute to your success?
Oh no.
These are the 3 things like that you do that, or anybody can do that will help them be successful.
I think honesty is huge. Honor is another one. I think honoring what you come from and how you treat people is another huge one. And then I would say, a third one. I think just being yourself. Like, crack jokes when you need to crack jokes, but also like be respectful. And just know the difference between those things.
Cool, man.
So,
Well, dude, thanks for coming down here this morning and hanging out.
yeah, man, it's been
I
great.
know you've got a busy day at the shop, more than likely.
Yes, sir.
How many you got on deck?
I think 13 today.
It's a lot of friends.
Yeah, a lot of friends.
Well, dude, I'll be seeing you next week
Yes, sir.
to get my hair cut. But until then, appreciate you coming on the show.
Yeah, man, I appreciate you.
And Facebook world, thanks for tuning in. And
Yeah.
we will see you guys later. Have a great day.